Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Right Winging It, where common sense is still common and we don't do trigger warnings. Well, here we go. The Obama truth bomb just went off and the left and their little lapdog media are stumbling around like they just stepped on a rake. And me? I'm just sitting back and watching the show because nothing tells you the truth faster than watching these leftoids scramble when the jig is up. Tulsi Gabbard just flat out put Barack Obama in the middle of what sure looks like a coordinated seditious conspiracy. We're talking about weaponizing fake intel to bury the real stuff and shove a completely bogus Russia stole the election fairy tale down America's throat. That hoax was their Swiss Army knife. It undermined a duly elected president, justified FBI witch hunts, FISA abuse, illegal spying, basically an all-out psyop against the American people. And now that the Trump administration is pulling the receipts, the media is in full-blown panic mode. CNN, they did what they always do when the truth shows up and slam that cut the feed button faster than a millennial blocking someone on Twitter. And not just at any moment either. They cut it at the exact second it mattered most. That's not oops, that's oh crap, they're on to us. They know exactly what just got dug up. They know the walls are closing in and they know their little house of cards is about to collapse. You can see the Democrat panic leaking out all over the place, the talking heads, the spin, the bad acting. So let's roll the tape. First up, Tulsi Gabbard taking the White House press room to school while CNN runs for the mute button like it's a fire drill.
Multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th.
We've been listening there to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continuing on what has now been a multi-day effort, not only with public statements like this, but release of documents to attempt to back up the quite extreme allegation that President Obama is guilty of treason and that he worked in some sort of conspiracy with Hillary Clinton, etc., in the assessment by the intelligence community at the time that Russia interfered.
And there it is. The moment the truth started slipping out, CNN went full pull the plug, cut the feed, cut her off, and then immediately started yapping over her like a toddler who knows they're busted. Gee, I wonder why. Oh, wait, I don't wonder. I know. It's because they're in on it. CNN, just like every other clown show in the fake news circuit, spent years milking this exact hoax for every dime it was worth. They peddled the Trump's a Russian asset bedtime story to gullible viewers, sold subscriptions, farmed clicks, and, helped kneecap his presidency in the process. This wasn't journalism, it was a political hit job dressed up as news. They helped set the stage for FBI witch hunts, FISA abuse, and good old-fashioned illegal spying, basically an all-out war on a sitting president. And now that the truth's leaking out, they yank the cord like they're trying to stop a toaster fire. Disgraceful. But you can smell the panic a mile away. The whole leftist media echo chamber is losing its mind. Democrat talking heads frantically tossing out weak talking points like they think it'll plug the holes in the Titanic. Spoiler, it's not working, which brings us to Whoopi Goldberg. Yeah. From The View, get ready because here she comes, rolling out the red carpet to defend St. Barack like it's her life's calling. Lord help us.
President just accused a former president of treason. Now, do people realize how serious an allegation this is? And for me, didn't the Supreme Court, under the guidance of this president, say that presidents have immunity? So that would mean that nothing Obama did, because you didn't say no, that only you have immunity. You said presidents. So this means you have no right to try to take him to court because he did what he did as president. So how does that work? Is it only you who is clear, or are they all clear? In which case, President Biden might be, kicking some new stuff up to you too. Because if you say nobody has immunity or everybody, you have to decide which way you're going to go.
So Whoopi's big legal brainwave here, presidential immunity, translation. She's not even denying Obama did it. She's just saying, yeah, but he's allowed to. Seriously, that's the hill she's dying on, as if presidents get a do whatever the hell you want card. Spoiler, they don't. If you actually read the Supreme Court decision instead of skimming the Twitter clickbait headlines, you'd know immunity only covers official acts, not backroom conspiracies to rig public perception and kneecap your political rivals. This defense is so weak, it's basically an admission of guilt wrapped in a bad excuse, so no surprise, Whoopi flunked the logic test. But up next, Harry Sisson, Twitter's favorite astroturfed Zoomer who thinks retweeting talking points counts as critical thinking. His hot take? That the Tulsi documents actually agree with the CIA's findings. In what fantasy land? Here's the reality, Harry. The documents say Russia tried to interfere. That's not the point. The point is whether they had the actual power to swing the election. And the real assessment, the one your precious Obama crew buried, said loud and clear, nope. But instead of the truth, they pushed a fairy tale about Russian bots flipping votes, leaked it to their media buddies, and boom, instant gospel for the gullible. Call it what it is, an attempted coup against a sitting president. And Trump, he's been saying it from day one. Turns out the orange man was right again.
When I listened to Joe talking about a transition, there's been no transition from when I won. I won that election. And if you look at crooked Hillary Clinton, if you look at all of the different people, there was no transition because they came after me trying to do a coup. They came after me spying on my campaign. They started from the day I won and even before I won, from the day I came down the escalator with our First Lady. They were a disaster. They were a disgrace to our country. And we've caught them. We've caught them all. We've got it all on tape. We've caught them all. And by the way, you gave the idea for the Logan Act against General Flynn. You better take a look at that because we caught you in a sense. And President Obama was sitting in the office. He knew about it, too. So don't tell me about a free transition. As far as the ballot.
For years, they called Trump a tinfoil hat kook, a liar, a conspiracy nut. Well, guess what? Every crazy thing we've been saying has now been stamped 100% vindicated. The Russia hoax was never about national security. That was just the costume they dressed it in. No, it was about one thing, taking down Donald Trump by any means necessary. And sitting right at the center of that little operation, Barack Hussein Obama. We've been saying it since 2020. Now it's in black and white. Tulsi Gabbard's dead right. This demands a criminal investigation. Abuse of power, outright lies, illegal spying, FISA abuse, media manipulation. That's not politics as usual. That's banana republic garbage. You don't just shrug and move on. And what's the Democrats' big defense? Pretend it never happened or hide behind this imaginary Obama can do no wrong immunity shield. Newsflash, that dog won't hunt. They know it's flimsy. We know it's flimsy. And deep down, they know we know it's flimsy. That's why they're pulling every cheap trick in the book, cutting feeds, dodging questions, changing the subject, and because the truth is out and the facts are on the table.
For the past few days, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard has unveiled shocking new evidence that former President Barack Obama and top aides in the Obama administration conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people, while publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power.
There is irrefutable evidence that detail how President Obama and his national security team directed the creation of an intelligence community assessment that they knew was false. They knew it would promote this contrived narrative that Russia interfered in the 2016 election to help President Trump win, selling it to the American people as though it were true. It wasn't. They worked with their partners in the media to promote this lie, ultimately to undermine the legitimacy of President Trump and launching what would be a years-long coup against him and his administration. The evidence that we have found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment.
Democrats know they can't defend this dumpster fire, so they're back to their usual playbook, lying through their teeth and running distraction like it's an Olympic sport. That's it for now, folks. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time, assuming the left doesn't try to cut the feed again.